Answers on the cost and what's being done, Jen, to clear up all that clutter.
Tony and Christina, it's the busiest time of year along the water, which means an increase in emergency calls. But deputies are also finding an increase of calls for boats without owners.
The pristine waters of the Sacramento and San Joaquin Delta are supposed to be an oasis for fish, waterfowl, and recreational boating. But now state officials say there's a growing danger.
Responding to abandoned and derelict vessels is about 20% of our responses.
It's kind of disgusting that they could even think of doing that kind of stuff.
Steve Mayo with the River City Rowing Club is talking about abandoned boats dumped in the Delta.
It's a shock, and as you can see, our boats are real low to the water, so when they hit it, it can be really dangerous.
People leave their boats behind, many without registration numbers, and are sent to auction, selling for next to nothing.
The Spirit of Sacramento, it was auctioned for $1,000, and a month later, we needed $2 to $3 million to respond to it.
Steve Hampton with Fish and Wildlife says the larger commercial vessels pose the greatest danger.
They can leak oil, they have other hazardous materials on them, they're a threat to navigation.
And it's causing problems for the ecosystem. So just how many boats are abandoned?
250, and that's just what's in the Delta.
And there may be more underwater. The Sacramento Sheriff's Department is one agency trying to clean up the mess and is having some success. Using a state grant to hire contractors, they've hauled off about 100 vessels in the last 10 years. But that grant won't pay to dispose of the larger commercial boats.
There's very limited funding and authority to remove these vessels, so a lot of them stay around.
Around until boaters stop dumping or new laws are anchored.
And state lawmakers are looking at legislative to perhaps help. Another idea floating around would be requiring insurance and also stricter registration to hold people accountable.
Jen McGraw live in Sacramento. Jen, thanks. The real